Update. My best friend is pregnant with fiance's baby and plans on leaving the baby with me because she is not ready to be a mom. Original post. I am in a situation that seems so surreal. So, I have a best friend. We've been friends for 12 years, and she's been more than a sister to me. We share everything, and we've been together through a lot. I also have a fiancé, and we all share the same social circle, a large group of friends. I have been with my fiancé for 4 years now, and last year in June we welcomed our beautiful baby boy. There were a lot of complications, and I also had surgery due to those issues. I stayed in the hospital for a month and was on bed rest for the next few weeks. In August, one of our friends had a wedding, and it was about an 8-hour drive away, so I couldn't attend because it was quite a hassle, considering I wasn't well and the baby was still too young. But my fiancé attended, and so did my BFF and a large part of our group. After the wedding, BFF drove back with my fiancé, stayed with me for 3 days, and then had to go back to work, which is not in the same city, so I didn't see her for months. Everything went back to normal. I went back to work and everything seemed fine. I talked to her like usual, and that was that. Fast forward to this week. I came home from work and guess who? BFF, heavily pregnant, due anytime now. Her due date is the 16th. I welcomed her, got her settled in, and everything was fine. We had dinner, then started catching up. I didn't want to pry too much because I figured if she had wanted to tell me details of her pregnancy, she would. Maybe she wasn't comfortable yet. So I told her we had to make plans to go out, shop, eat. You know, normal stuff. Then I asked when she'd be leaving so we could make the most of the time we had. She proceeded to tell me she isn't leaving. I was confused and asked again, like, what? She again stated she isn't leaving. I asked her why, and her answer, oh my god, the baby is my fiancé's. I was left speechless. Then she said she'd thought about it and that she's not ready for motherhood, so she came to deliver. Stay for 4 months while she heals and rests, and then she'll leave the baby here and go. At this point, I felt like cameras were hidden somewhere and it was a prank. Half expecting her to say it was a joke, but no, she was as serious as a heart attack, which I was sort of having. I didn't know what to do, how to react, whether to scream or yell or kick her out. So I just left, went to my room and locked myself in, but I couldn't sleep either. I haven't talked to my fiancé yet. He works as a sales rep, and most of the week he's away. So what do I do? Currently, it's Saturday, the busiest day at the office, and I can't even think straight. How do I navigate this situation? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Grab your baby, grab your things, and move out. He can care for that baby. Why should you do that when both of them betrayed you and you have a baby yourself? First, call the police and have her arrested for trespassing. She was only there at your invitation and is now refusing to leave. I would call your fiancé now and put him on speakerphone with your BFF. The moment he confirms that this isn't fake, tell him that you'll have all of his belongings packed and ready to go for him to move out the moment he returns. Then show your ex-BFF to the door because it's your apartment, not hers, so she has no right to stay there. He'll be home by 2 p.m. today, and I think I'm already freaking out about what's going to happen then. If I ask him on the phone, he's going to lie or deny or hang up and not come home. I think I'd rather surprise him, or I'm going to surprise myself. Either way, I think the conversation would be more honest in person. You get your ducks in a row in GTFO. He cheated on you with your bestie and got her pregnant and never told you. What a POS. This is not a man you want to stay with or marry, or get stuck raising the affair child. Pack up and move to a family members with your child if you can. Contact a lawyer ASAP. I'm in Kenya and the judicial system is pretty much non-existent and hella expensive, but the good thing is we don't have many joint assets. I am considering this, thanks. Now for the first update. Well, thank you all for the advice and support. It's really been helpful, and it's good to know I'm not going crazy. Sorry, the previous post was long and not well written. So here's the update. I left work at 1, got home, took my kid and house help to my neighbor, who I've grown close to and who sometimes helps me out when my house help is off duty. When I came back, she was sleeping, like completely oblivious to the fact that she had just turned my life upside down. Then the POS of a fiance came home, and I confronted them. So apparently I'm that dumb because tell me why they told me they had been together since before. And since she became pregnant, he's been going to see her every other week and supporting her, paying her rent, buying her food, etc. They said I wasn't supposed to find out. The now ex-fiance got mad at my ex-BFF for coming over and telling me, and after all that BS, we had an argument. I blew up at both of them, chased them out, threw them out, and locked the door behind them. I was honestly expecting more of a fight because I was ready to mess that man up. All that time wasted thinking we were building something together, it's a lot. I'm really angry and disappointed, but I think it's all going to be okay because I don't need that kind of baggage right now. I have a lot to think about and a lot to go through. I don't know how or what happened, but his mother just called a few hours ago. I didn't pick up. I don't want to deal with that BS right now. I know she's going to defend him, say I should give him a chance, or that it's not wrong. I don't know what they're going to try to say to me, but I don't want to hear it right now. They're very traditional and don't see anything wrong with cheating or having another child with another woman. It's like it's common, and I'm just really mad. Right now I haven't talked to either of them, but I'm pretty sure they went to his home, which is very far away, like 2 hours from here. But I don't care at this moment. So, I'm here in bed typing. My son just went to bed, but I'm really not taking any calls or anything to do with them right now. I just want to enjoy the peace while it lasts, because I know tomorrow I won't. I want to have a moment of peace. So much for Mother's Day. I was hoping for something celebratory, not this kind of drama. I never expected this kind of betrayal. But I'm good. I can't waste any more energy on that man. He's not worth it. I know he's not worth it. Thank you all for your support, truly. It's been a lot, and it feels like I'm alone right now because I can't even ask my mom for support. I bet she would say I should just stay for the sake of marriage and all that BS, so I'm not talking to her right now. And anyone who's going to tell me to forgive him, I'm going to tell them to shove it where the sun doesn't shine. That's all for now. I'm just going to enjoy my peace and my cup of tea. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Second update 2 months later. Hi guys, it's been quite a while since I posted, so here's the update. But first of all, thank you all for your support and comments. You really helped me gain clarity in this situation. After I kicked them out, they went to stay at his parents' place. Apparently, this affair of theirs had been going on for a long time, and every time he was away at work, he would go see her. He wanted to have both of us, but she decided she didn't want to be a mom, and thus disrupted their plan. That Sunday, as expected, I got lots of calls and texts from his parents trying to make me see sense, trying to make it all seem normal and get me to take him back, and all that BS. But I was just done with him. Nothing could ever make any of that look normal. He also came back the following Saturday wanting to talk, and said things along the lines of, I gave you space to stop being angry and be reasonable, so I'm going to give you a chance to reconsider your options, because once I leave, I won't come back. And as you see, I have another wife. That made me super mad. I called him all the names in the book, told him off for how horrible he is as a human being, and told him he's nothing but scum who doesn't deserve another second of my time. I told him to look around, find anything he ever bought and take it with him. I made sure he collected everything with his name on it and kicked him out of my life for good. Tell me why later that evening my mom called me and said his parents had called her to tell her to talk to me. Turns out I was pretty presumptuous about my mom because during the week we had talked, and she's been my rock through all this. She even took my son for the week as I sorted through everything else. My mom tore them a new one. They had wanted to get the families together to discuss how we should get back together, but both my parents shut that down fast. They told them how they gave them their daughter in good terms, but they failed to raise their son to be an honorable man, and how the disrespect toward me, in extension, was disrespect toward them too. After he took his stuff, leaving the furniture and other things he couldn't carry, he mostly took his clothes and shoes, and was petty enough to take a pair of shoes he had bought for me earlier this year. I sold them. Every single one. It took a little while, but I did. Then I moved and bought everything new. So now I'm living in this cozy, new upgraded house, no stress from anyone or anything. I don't know what happened to that bee, but quite frankly, I don't care. Her betrayal was bad enough. I can't waste time thinking about someone who never gave a good thought about me. They really deserve each other, and the trash took itself out too. Also, the meeting with the families happened, but it wasn't to get us together. It was for custody and whatnot. He still gets to be in our son's life, pays for everything including future school fees and all that, and if he doesn't, his parents are to be held liable for that. So it's safe to say I'm set up and comfortable where I'm at. Everything is going well. I'm happy and at peace. It's a relatively happy ending to an otherwise crappy experience. Thank you all for your support through this crazy situation. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife we either go to marriage counseling or I file for divorce? My wife, 31 female, and I, 32 male, have been together for 11 years and married for 6. We have 3 young kids together, and our marriage is falling apart because my wife doesn't want to change a thing. One of our biggest issues is the topic of more kids. My wife has decided that 3 is nowhere near enough, and she wants to have several more children, at least 3 more she says, but she likes the idea of even more than that. Meanwhile, I'm done with the 3 we have. She has tried to tell me we'll be having at least 3 more kids, and there's nothing I can say or do to stop it. So, we haven't had sex in 5 months. She has called me an a-hole and accused me of hating our kids, and when I tell her to stop saying that, she says I must hate them if I don't want more of them. She shuts down any concerns I bring up and never has an answer to where we'll get the money or time for 3 more kids. Her last delivery was difficult, and the doctors told us they wouldn't recommend many more pregnancies for her. She doesn't care and told me as much. She says that not giving in makes me manipulative. Another one of our big arguments is over time with the kids. We both work, and I feel like we should both be involved with the kids and taking care of the house. She tries to hog all the time when we're not working. She has told me she doesn't want me to take time with our kids away from her, and I've told her I just want to spend some time with them too. The times I do have the kids, she acts like she hasn't seen them for weeks, even though we live in the same house. I leave her to do everything else even though I do my fair share. I've tried to suggest we figure out a schedule or just do things as a family, but she says I'm not going to take over the kids and leave her cleaning after work. I can't bring up sharing time with the kids and chores because she's not okay with it being mentioned. Another big issue is money. We disagree on how we spend, save, and utilize the money we earn. It actually comes back to the topic of having more kids and how we spend time with our kids now. She doesn't have any concern for financial stability, and I do. There are other smaller things we fight about too, though none of those are as frequent or as long-standing. But for a year now, our marriage has been falling apart, and she speaks to me like she hates me 80% of the time. There's no middle ground or talking things through because she resorts to name-calling. After trying to speak with her and asking for therapy before, and her turning me down flat, I reached the end of the line. I started therapy on my own and booked us a marriage counseling session, but she didn't show. After a few more individual sessions, I told my wife it's either marriage counseling or divorce, because I don't want to raise our kids hearing these daily fights and feeling caught between feuding parents day after day. My wife said it wasn't my call to say either or, and that if I really cared, I would be fighting harder for our marriage. Am I the a-hole? Get a divorce. It's not going to get better. She obviously doesn't understand how marriage and children work. Having additional kids is a 2-yes situation, not an I'll have more kids against your wishes situation. Yep, it's sexual coercion. OP needs to get the heck out. At least you'll be able to spend time and know your kids during your custody time. Additionally, you have been fighting for your marriage. She wants complete and total surrender to her thoughts and feelings. Again, that doesn't work in a marriage. Marriage is about compromise and working through issues. Your wife is out in left field, and I wouldn't touch her in any way considering you may have another child as a result of your encounters. We haven't been intimate in months, and that's not going to change anytime soon, ever from the way things are looking. Not the a-hole. Your wife is off her rocker. Get a vasectomy. Freeze some sperm on reserve just in case your next wife wants a child. Seriously, she has a screw loose. Lost the plot. Without idioms, she needs her head examined. In all seriousness, does she have postpartum psychosis? If she won't get help, it's on you to help your children and yourself. See an attorney. Yes, divorce is hard on kids, but living in a home brewing utter toxicity is worse. If you get out and form a healthy union with someone else, the kids will see an example of a functional family. She won't let you parent? How's she going to like parenting every other week? This goose is cooked. I'm not freezing any sperm, but I will be getting a vasectomy soon. She doesn't have PPP or PPD. This is simply her being stubborn and wanting to get her way on everything. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not telling my cousin why my wife doesn't do any chores? A year ago, things in my marriage came to a head and my wife nearly divorced me. Long story short, when we got married 13 years ago, she and I agreed that she would work part-time and handle most, but not all of the domestic stuff while I focused on my career. Any home improvement projects she came up with, maintenance and repairs, as well as parenting duties. I was up many nights with the babies and did everything else that comes with being a parent. 10 years ago, she went back to work full-time and even started her own business with my full support. The problem? I never adjusted my domestic contributions. That, understandably, led to her being burned out and she started resenting me. Fast forward to a year ago, she was going to leave me, and I, realizing how badly I'd screwed up, decided to take on and provide my wife all the support she had given me. Ever since then, I've been doing the majority of the housework while she focuses on growing her business and being with the kids. And ever since, our marriage, with a little additional help from marriage counseling, has never been better. Fast forward a bit further, and my cousin, along with her husband and 3 kids, stayed with us this weekend. But they don't know any of the above and just saw my wife relaxing and playing with the 6 kids all weekend, while I tirelessly cooked, cleaned, and kept the place spotless for 2 families. So here's where I might be the a-hole. My cousin started asking me how often I cook or do laundry, etc., and I told her all the time, but didn't tell her why. She then started pointing out everything I was doing to her husband with a clear message that if I could, he could. Here's the thing. Her husband is the primary breadwinner, and unlike my wife, my cousin actually works only part-time. Should I explain that we are only a year into my penance, and that my wife used to be the one doing all this and more, or do I just mind my own business? Edit. One quick clarification. If you people have picked up on the word penance and, if meant seriously, legitimately criticized the word. However, it didn't come off how I meant it. My wife did not ask for penance, nor is it really that. It was written more tongue-in-cheek because I am no fan of doing laundry. I wanted to win my wife back because she was going to leave me, and I decided that I needed to show her with action that I fully support her and her business. My wife's love language is acts of service, and she cares not for words but for action. So, action I am taking. At some point, we will find a different dynamic that is more equitable, but for now, I feel that I owe her this and love how happy it makes her. It is none of your cousin's business how your household runs. You should probably also not see your chores contribution as penance. It is what it is. You are taking your turn. There is no penance about it. Also, if OP is still working full-time, the household chores need to be distributed evenly. One person shouldn't be tirelessly cooking and cleaning, while the other is relaxing with the kids, whatever that means. You should both be pitching in with cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. Also, the kids can be assigned some age-appropriate chores too. Actually, one of the innovations I introduced 6 months ago was chores for the kids. Work smart, not hard. Simply explain that the division of labor looks different for every couple. She supported you while you built your career, and now you are returning the favor. Or don't explain at all. I do hope there is some flexibility in your division of labor as needed depending on what is going on. Like if one of you is sick or goes out of town, or you have visitors, or just different things that pop up in life that disrupt the usual routine. If not, in the long run that could end up being a point of contention as well. I have to travel for work from time to time, and she absolutely manages everything when I'm gone. And certain jobs are too big for one person, but right now I need her to see this isn't a phase. In time, things will become more equitable.